Winning means fame and fortune. Losing means certain death. The Hunger Games have begun. In a place once known as North America, now lies the country of Panem. Panem consists of 12 districts, all controlled by the capital. Each year, the capital hosts the Hunger Games. The capital hosts this event as a reminder to the 12 districts that the capital has all power, and if the districts ever try to rebel, they will destroy another one, like they did District 13. The Hunger Games is when one boy and one girl from each district are randomly selected to fight to the death in the Hunger Games. They are put into an outdoor arena which could consist of frozen wasteland, dry desert, or vast woods. Katniss Everdeen, a citizen of District 12, volunteered to take her sister's spot in the Hunger Games. She, along with the 23 other tributes, had to use specific strategies to survive the games. Today we will be demonstrating 2 of the strategies Katniss Everdeen uses to win the Hunger Games. A critical part for Katniss' survival in the Hunger Games was building fires. Now I will show you the steps to building a fire. The first step to building a fire is using rocks to contain it so it doesn't start the forest on fire. Katniss didn't have rocks in the arena, but if she did, she would have used them to contain her fire. The next step is to collect dry kindling to get the flame going. These leaves and dry twigs will be perfect to get the flame started. The next thing you want to do is find a more substantial piece of wood so it can sustain the fire. When Katniss was in the arena, she was lucky enough to have a pair of matches to start her fire. The next step is to strike a match and get her going. Once the flame starts to build, you want to put the drier pieces on top so it stays going. It'd be helpful to blow on it too to give it more oxygen. Once the flame is building, you want to make sure to add thicker pieces of wood to make sure they start on fire. Make sure to never light a fire at night because it's very easy for the other tributes to find out where you are. Last weekend, I went on a camping trip to test my survival skills that I learned from watching Katniss and the Hunger Games. It was one frigid night, and I was able to start a fire with the skills that I used from Katniss, and I kept my family warm so we didn't die. Before Katniss entered the Hunger Games, she knew that her greatest strength was going to be the bow and arrow. After her father was killed in a mine explosion, she hunted to find food for the family. She used this strength that she had learned back in her district throughout most of the Hunger Games. I will now teach you how to shoot a bow and arrow, just as Katniss did. Supplies you will need are a bow, some arrows, and this optional supply that Katniss did not have, an arrow holder. Step 1, load the bow. The first thing you need to do is grab an arrow. Once you have an arrow selected, make sure it's always pointed at the ground for safety precautions. Put the bow in your left hand, holding the handle with the string around the middle of your elbow. Grab your arrow
hook the end onto the bowstring. Once you have the arrow latched on, it will kind of click. Make sure to keep it pointed at the ground and rest the arrow on top of the rest that is on your bow. Next step is to select your target, whether it be human or creature. Once you have selected your target, hold up your bow with your left hand parallel to the ground. Next, pull back the string while holding the arrow. Make sure to keep your left arm steady. Once you have pulled back the string, take aim by looking at the tip of your arrow. Make sure you stay steady and you are in a comfortable position with the string pulled back far enough. When you are ready and know that you are on target, release. With much practice, you will be able to be spot on each and every time, just like Katniss. Make sure if your arrow isn't damaged to remove it from your target, clean it, and add it back to your collection for future killings. I recently went on a hunting trip in honor of Katniss and found myself faced with a rabid mongoose. If I wouldn't have learned Katniss's tactics of using a bow and arrow, I would not be here today. I hope you enjoyed learning how to shoot a bow and arrow and build a fire so that you can survive the Hunger Games. And may the odds be ever in your favor. Do, 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 do.
The Hunger Games is when one boy and one girl
She, along with the 23 other tributes. Today we will be demonstrating 2 of the Now I can think of. Next step is to strike. This is what happens when you are not safe while doing archery.
Oh my god, it's bruising so bad.
Before Katniss entered the hunger, take out an arrow from your arrow holder or from wherever. Grab an arrow. Keep going. Next, pull back the string while holding the arrow. I recently went on a hunting trip in honor of Katniss and found myself faced with a rabbit.
Okay, I'm actually done.
The Hunger Games have begun. The Hunger Games have begun. We're so slow! In the place that was once known as North America.
This is going to be terrible.
In the place once known as North America is now the country of Panem. Panem consists of 12 districts, all What, Emma?
Oh my